subject matter, just keep on kneeling.
Amen.
Just keep on kneeling. Many of us heard about the football player, Colin Kaepernick. A few years ago, he started a silent protest. And he said, this is his quote, he says, "I'm not going to stand up and show pride in the flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color." He said, "To me, this is bigger than football, and it will be selfish of me on my part to look the other way." He said, "There are bodies in the street, and people are getting paid leave and getting away with murder." Many of the players in the league also joined in this protest over the last few years. Now 45 comes out and says they should be fired if they kneel. Dallas Cowboys owner, who's a big supporter of 45, quickly threatened if his players are caught kneeling, he will cut them all. You know, another supporter, Robert McNair, many of you heard over this week. He's the owner of the Texans, the Houston Texans. He said, "We can't allow the inmates to run the prison." These are the type of comments that are being governed over people that you work for. He said with these comments, nearly his whole team knelt last week, showing their unity and also against the words that were said. But this shows us, people, how important kneeling is and how it can cause great movement in lives and impact that can come about in this world. I mean, kneeling has been part of our circumference for years. Martin Luther King knelt. Every time there's a situation, there's been people that have come together collectively and kneel to bring not only an issue, but also we're submitting ourselves to God. God, we need your help. We need your strength. We need you to now come into this place. But most of us are not willing to listen to the issues we're faced with because we're more concerned about the appearance that we show in front of the flag. I'm more concerned about you standing up and stand up and me telling you what to do. You stand there and look right, although I'm not going to address your issues. I'm not going to address your issue. That's not important to me. I just need you to stand up because I don't want to lose money. I don't want protest and I don't want none of this stuff going on. So I want you to just stand up and look like you're a company man. In all actuality, it comes to this. Many of our ancestors have been raised, you know, in a way they had to stand. I'll tell you when to stand. I'll tell you when to sit. I'll tell you what bathroom you can go in. I'll tell you what water fountain you can drink of. I'm going to tell you everything you need to do. So it comes down to a systemic issue that's going a little bit deeper than what we think. But we have to be willing to keep kneeling if it brings light to the issues that we're confronted with. But you got to ask yourself, how many of us are willing to keep kneeling when up against situations that have come up against us? Everybody's going through something. Everybody's got some type of drama. Everybody got some type of issue they're dealing with. But you got to ask yourself this: am I willing to keep kneeling in the midst of everything that's going on? Now you find somebody like Daniel, he's going through it. He's an exile. He's been put into a whole nother place. But he said, even though I don't see anything of God going on in my life, I'm going to still keep kneeling 3 times a day. I'm going to show you what a great prayer life looks like. And it takes a great prayer life to get us to where God wants us. I know it's hard for us sometimes to understand, you know, what's going on, how it's going to get fixed and all this, but it starts with prayer.
That's right.
It starts with prayer. And he said this, he said you got to have a faithful prayer life. He said now when Daniel knew that the document was signed, that was a document that was signed by King Darius. It said for the next 30 days, nobody's going to get worship other than me. So now he's the other one saying, I'm God now. Okay? Everybody's going to fall and everybody's going to worship me. When I tell you to stand, you're going to stand. When I tell you to sit, you're going to sit. When I say play the drums, you're going to play the drum. Now, how does that look like anything in our situation today? You got orders to say, I'm going to fire you if you don't stand up. So here's somebody who put themselves above God for 30 days. You're going to do exactly what I tell you to do. Well, you got somebody that said, man, I don't care what you're telling me to do. I'm still going to kneel. I'm still going to do what I got to do because I understand even though I'm in a situation where I don't see God, I'm going to still call on him.
That's right.
How many of us still got the courage to do that? Even when I don't see God working. Yes. You done took me out of here, you done messed my job up and everything, but I still gonna pray to you every day. God, you may not be answering my situation, but I'm gonna still pray. But he said, not only he opened the windows and he looked back to Jerusalem. where God was in his eyes. He looked over to the temple. He could see the temple. He see where God had done so much work. I'm going to keep on kneeling, and I'm going to keep on going back to that place where I know God is. He said the decree was made. You said pray only to the king. But much like the NFL, you stand there, there are going to be ramifications.
That's right.
When you stand there, there's going to be ramifications. Although, you know, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but there's always going to be ramifications for what I say that I believe. You know, it's always going to be somebody that's going to come up, say something, or do something that's going to try to throw you off your center. He said Daniel knew what he was facing, but he went back to the same position every day. Although I know what folk gonna say something about me, I may lose my life for this, but I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna keep on kneeling 3 times a day. You know, too many of us get, you know, short circuit the prayer life before it gets started. He said, no, I'm gonna still keep going back, and I'm gonna still do what God has asked me to do. He said, I'm gonna open that window up every day because I want folk to see me praying. You know, too often we want to hide sometimes, you know, when things are going on. I want to be quiet. This is my quiet time. Sometimes I got to let folk know, yes, I'm praying. Yes, I'm praying. I'm standing in the gap because I understand what God's going to do through this situation. He said, but he had a dilemma. He had a dilemma. Do I keep doing this? How many times we ask ourselves, do I keep going through this? I ain't seeing God doing nothing. You know, my family's still messed all up. I still got financial issues. Still got this going on. Am I going to keep doing this? The answer is yes, I'm going to keep doing it. He said, not only that did he keep praying, he said he gave thanks. Now you think about this. This is somebody who's been stripped from where he lived. He'd been taken to a whole other place. He had his name taken from him, but he said, I'm still going to keep on praying. Some of us are going through some situations right now. Family all jacked up. You know, husbands crazy, wives acting all crazy, children off the chain. Yeah, everything's being taken away from us seamlessly, but I'm going to still stand there and I'm going to just go wait. Because I know sometimes I wake up in the morning and I look around and look at my situation. This situation just ain't right. You know, and I talk to God sometimes. This ain't right now. I got somebody, you know, that ain't believing. I got somebody over here that's just half crazy. Kids talking crazy, sending me different messages and all this. But I got to still stand there. I got to stand there. Even though everything in my life has seemed like it's been stripped and torn away from you. You calling me out my name and all this. But God, I'm still going to stand there. I'm still going to stand there because I know you are a God that's going to deliver me. I've seen you. I know you bad. And I'm going to stay right there. He said, but then do I put myself on the line? Do I put my life on the line? Am I willing to put my life on the line? Because I'm supposed to be now they didn't threaten me to put me into the lion's den. You said it in the chapter. He said he knew the decree was signed. I understand that. Yeah, but I'm going to still keep on doing it. But how many of us are willing to make that last transition? Well, we know, you know, hey, look, if you tell me, how many of us are willing to do this in our jobs? Say, look here, I need to pray at 10 o'clock. I'm going to go back at 12, and I'm going to go back at 2 o'clock. How you feel about that? Well, if you do that, sir, we're going to fire you. Okay. Catch me at 10 o'clock. You know, that's where I'm going to be. 12 o'clock, that's where I'm going to be. At 2 o'clock, that's where I'm going to be. How many of us got the courage to do that on our jobs? Because, you know, a lot of times our jobs dictate whether we're going to eat, where we're going to live. You see? So he said, man, I don't care nothing about that. I'm going to go back to God, no matter what's going on in my situation. I don't care if you take this job. I don't care if you take this house. I'm still going to do, because, see, this is the thing. We got to understand our relationship with him is more important than anything else. My relationship with you, God, is greater than anything that comes up against me. My relationship is what gets me through this. My relationship is the one who's going to take me to that next level. God, I understand. And Daniel's teaching us today. He said the enemy is always present, ain't he? Yeah. He's always present, and he presents compromises and challenges us, don't it? It's always somebody going to come in there and try to throw you off track. Somebody going to come in there and say something. Somebody going to say something about your past. Somebody going to say something about your situation going on. But yet he's still going to stay. We got to still stay girded up and say, I'm going to still stand there. Someone here is in the midst of their breakthrough, but they won't keep on kneeling. God said, if you just keep on kneeling, I'm about to bring you your breakthrough. But too often, our schedule, our work, whatever's coming up against us, that's more important. He said, just keep on kneeling and see what I'm going to do in your life. But it takes a submission to say, I'm going to stand there in the midst of everything that's going on. God, help me. Just keep kneeling, because if I keep kneeling, everything is going to break out in my life. Yeah. He kept kneeling. And sometimes it costs us relationships. It costs us some relationship time. Sometimes it costs us family members. But you got to ask yourself, if anybody have ever walked away from you, and because you stand making a stand for God, were they really with you? That's right. In the first place? I mean, you got to think about it. Now, I've been trying to hold on to your crazy tail all this time. But you ain't been with me the whole time. When I made a sacrifice for God, you were nowhere to be found. Well, I told you I needed prayer. Oh, I had work. Or this the week you got an attitude, you can't call me back. All right, come on. But I'm saying, I got to have enough within myself to say, I'm gonna stay with it. I'm gonna stay with it. I don't care what's going on. And I know it's hard. I know a lot of y'all going through it right now. And it's hard to stay in there. It's hard to keep going back to God and you don't see no transformation taking place in your life. You've been praying the same prayer 15 years. It still ain't moved. God said, just keep on kneeling. Daniel kept on kneeling, and he stayed fast in his prayer daily. He was willing to make that sacrifice. You got to ask yourself, am I really willing to make that same sacrifice? There was a story, we know evergreens. I got evergreens around my house, those evergreen trees. There's a lot of us chop them down. We make Christmas trees of them, right? But he said, in every evergreen, there's always evergreens. Despite the changes, it never changes its color. Nor in the weather that's around it. That's good. It's green in the heat of the summer, as well as the cold in the winter. Also, it lives. Our lives are to be characterized by enduring thankfulness. He said that it's unaffected by the changes around us. The evergreen is not affected by the things that are going around it. You chop it down, it still grows up. It still never changes who it is, but the things that's cut off of it change colors, don't it? Because it's no longer connected to what's living. He said, but me and my persona, I still stay the same. So even when it's cold outside, I'm going to still stay the same. Even when it's hot, blazing outside, I'm still going to stay the same. Because an evergreen represents us in our Christian life. When Daniel said, I'm still going to stay green. I'm still going to be doing what I'm supposed to be, because I understand this. Even when you cut things off me, I just got to keep on growing. I got to keep on doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But he said, when the heat of the pressure of the week of our daily, deadly cold and pain strikes us, we should stand evergreen and always thankful, regardless of what surrounds us. You got to think about this. The heartless plotters. Verse 11 helps us. He said these men came in agreement. They found Daniel making a petition and supplication before God. And they went and told on him. There will always be people that will plot against you, no matter what your intention is, what's going on in your life. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be willing to act a fool for the devil. There's always going to be somebody in your life that's going to be willing to go out on a ledge for their own circumstances. But you got to think about this. When somebody comes up against you, they're letting the enemy know I'm available. When you think about it sometimes we got people in our circle that they do things to try to manipulate you into doing something you really don't want to do. Manipulation is a form of witchcraft, which is a sin against God. Amen. See, that helps us understand. So when you come to me telling me something crazy, and I know it's crazy, and I still go for it, I've allowed you now to pull me out of my kneeling. And that's what happens. He said, there are times when people will confront you and distract you from what you should be doing. There's always going to be somebody who's going to come up against you, say something crazy, throw you off your mark. But you got to understand this. Okay, I see where you're coming from. I may not have glasses. You know, but I got contacts and they come from the Lord. I can see your spirit and I see it stinks. So I got to do something about you, right? But there's always going to be these people. So you got to understand when these things come, you got to be prepared for it. And it helps in our prayer life. He said when they went back to the king, they said, okay, all right, king, now you said this. He ain't doing it. Ain't that how it works? Ain't that how it works? So always somebody that got something to say about what you doing. And they always try to incorporate other people in there to make it even worse. It ain't good enough that I go tell you. I'm going to get up a group of people and go over and tell the boss. Ain't that how they doing your job? Man, you see him doing it, then we're going to go somewhere else and ask him, man, did you see that? So we want to get a crowd of people to go up there. As if, you know, one voice wouldn't be enough. But there will always be two people that are going to plot against you and try to stop your progress. But you got to ask yourself, are you willing to slow down and let them stop your progress? Or are you willing to just keep on kneeling? Because the thing of it is, once you stop and pay attention to them, now the work stops. My communication stops with the Lord. Everything is cut off now because I'm paying attention to you. I don't need to be paying attention to you. I need to understand this. I'm trying to build a relationship with him. And whatever you're doing, it has nothing to do with me. He said, but anytime you can't join me in prayer, we're not doing the right thing. We're not going in the right direction. He said they remind the king they should be punished for this. Daniel had worked side by side with a lot of these people. Christian man working every day in the midst of unbelievers. He was elevated among them and over them. So now that he's gotten elevated, folk got a problem with him. As long as I was serving you, everything was okay. But when I start going over you, I got a problem with that now. I got a problem with you elevating. You know what you think about on your job? When you cool with your buddy, and all of a sudden they come to you with the promotion, now they got a problem with you now. Now they don't want to, oh, you going up there with the brothers now. You doing, you know how they do. They want to diminish the fact that now you getting elevated. And this is what's going on here. They said, nah, it was cool when you was in this place, but now you starting to get elevated. I ain't got nothing for you. So now I'm going to try to throw you off your throne. You think about it, some of the athletes back in the day, Dwight Gooden, boy, they loved him when he was winning them championships, didn't he? But as soon as he fell off that rock, boy, they was all on him, didn't he? He starts, using drugs and all that kind of, they was all up on him. Couldn't wait to tear him down. But as long as he was hanging up them banners and getting them rings, everything was all right. They knew what was going on. But when you start affecting my bottom line, then I got a problem with it. Right, Tiger Woods loved him, didn't they? Boy, the ratings was off the roof, wasn't it? But as soon as they found out he had some imperfections that was going to affect their bottom line, they had something to say about it, didn't they? Everybody come out the woodwork. But the thing about it was, everybody knew what he was doing in the first place. Everybody knew what was going on. But now we got a problem with it because everybody else knows. Now it was okay when you was all right. You was a little guy over trying to get to the top. Now that you're at the top, man, I got to get you out of here because now I see something else going on up there, and I see you going to a whole nother level that I ain't able to get to. So I got to knock your tail down and get you back to where I am. There's always going to be haters in your life. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be in your life that's been planted by the enemy to throw you off your game. Every time. You ever think about how you get on the phone or be in a situation somebody ain't never got nothing good to say about nobody? You trying your best to deviate the conversation somewhere else. They always come back with something. Well, I didn't like her shirt no way. What you doing with that on? But I know, but she was in the house of the Lord, but she should have been there last week. It don't have nothing to do with that, does it? But we always got them people to do it, don't it? Because they always get their moment in the sunshine. It's like many of us today. Those issues that confront us, but we'd rather say, fire them, take back their means of employment. There's always going to be somebody that's going to try to manipulate us. Those owners have gotten together and that they've colluded now to push Colin Kaepernick out of the league. Now they say, okay, I got something for you now. Now I'm going to sue your tail and we're going to find out now who been talking. Because ain't no way you're going to tell me this man shouldn't be in the league. bad as some of these quarterbacks are, this is awful.
Yeah, come on.
But when you got other folk that will try to diminish your voice, that's exactly what they'll do. Hey man, look, they don't care nothing about winning now. This is all about winning in another game that we don't know nothing about, right? So he said, I know you can help me win, but it's something about you that you I can't and all that. But anybody know Tim Tebow? Tim Tebow was another football player, but he was a white guy. And he kneeled too. They didn't have no problem with him. He knelt every game, but he was kneeling to the Lord. Oh, that's different. Now it's different, right? But I'm telling you, I'm kneeling for a cause. Right. Now that's a problem, right? Because I've identified who the target is. They said, "Now we ain't got no use for you." But many have turned away from the NFL. They protested, apologized, talking about their sales that went down. Their sales should have been down, bad as that piece is. But I tell you this. Now, people just see, now you're affecting my bottom line. As long as I was making money off of you, everything was all right. Now you starting to mess with my pocket. So brother, your pocket should have been messed with a long time ago, because that pizza is awful. And I'm telling you, I can't take it. But this what happens to us when we go through these situations. Because people always gonna have something to say, but you got to understand this. People don't want you to see you advancing your prayer because of fear of change that will take place. That's right. They know power comes through prayer. Folks will knock you off your game because they understand this. If I can knock you off, I get you right to where I am. Because I don't want to really be elevated. I just want to be in a place where I can see you, but you can see me too. Anytime there's going to be a separation, there's going to be a problem. It's always a problem. The world is trying to dictate to us when we can kneel. But you got to keep on kneeling and stay the course. I talked to a man at work this week, and we were talking about football just in casual. And he said, I ain't watching NFL. And my first sense said just to leave it alone. But then he come back again, I'm protesting the NFL. All right, okay, what's the problem? Well, they are disrespecting the flag. Okay, who is the they we talking about? Let's get to that. Yeah. So they disrespect and they disrespect the military. And I said, well, I served in the military and I had no issue with what they're doing. I said, but the thing about it was, did you ask yourself why they're kneeling? Right. Oh, I ain't concerned about that.
Come on now.
We got to have a whole other conversation now, because now you saying what I'm saying is minimized. What I stand for is minimized. What they're saying for is minimized. All the thing I want you to do, same mentality. Stand up when I tell you to stand up. Yeah. Do what I tell you to do, and I'll support you. But anytime you go against anything I tell you, I got a problem with it, right? But then this is what helps us. He said this. He helps us. You just got to go through it. Verse 16 helps it. He said, then he gave orders, right? Then he said, Daniel was brought and cast into the lion's den. But look what Darius said. Your God, who you constantly serve, will himself deliver you. Ain't that something? Now you got somebody who has put themselves over God, yet he's putting himself in a position to say, I know the God you serve. He gonna get you out of it. I know he is. Even though I'm all out of position, I done created all this chaos, I know he gonna get you out of it. Now sometimes when you know the enemy is gonna do something to you, somebody always knows. Even the enemy knows that. I know how bad he is. He kicked my tail out of heaven. I know how he is. But I know this. I know enough about him to know he gonna get you out of it. There are times when we go through daily situations, right? But we gotta learn that I just gotta stand, hold on to it, because I know God gonna get me out of it. There gonna be times when things gonna come out and not go our way. But I still got to stand up because I know God going to get me out of it. I mean, I must believe that. I mean, when I'm going through everything that I go through, just know that one thing that Darius said, your God is going to get you out of it. There's no times we're going to suffer. There's going to be times we're not going to want to go through. There's going to be times we're going to be sick. There's going to be times we're going to be throwing up. There's going to be things going to come up against us. We got to understand that God's still going to get me through it. You got to understand that. You got to stand on it and say, that's right. Look at what Darius said. I know God, who you serve. Everybody knows the people that serve. He said, I know you're going to get out of it. Serving is something we develop. We give back to God. It's the only thing we got. is serving. He said, I seen you putting in the work. I seen some of the things that you've done. Man, you stood consistent. You did everything you were supposed to. I know he's going to get you out of this. Man, I ain't even worried about it. But you got to believe it yourself. But it only takes you to keep on kneeling. He said, I know. He said, I know he's going to deliver you. He said, you have to make up in your mind that I'm going to serve God consistently in everything he asked me to do. It ain't about coming in and putting on a show. It's about saying, I'm just going to serve you, God. Even if it's at my job, it's at my home, I'm going to stand firm with you, God, because I understand you're going to get me out of it. And then sometimes it takes the enemy to tell me he going to get you out of it. And he's giving me that next elevation I need, because I need it sometimes. Sometimes we sit down and we crying and we're doing all these kind of things. And God said, if you just get on your knees one more time, just get on your knees one more time, and I'm going to bring you out of it. But you got to believe it before you get down there. Hey, Daniel said, man, all hell's breaking loose in my life, but I tell you what, I'm going to get on my knees 3 times a day, because I know God's going to come. And then it affected others around him. He said, but you got to be consistent.
Hallelujah.
You got to stay consistent if you want God to move in your life. You can't do this half-hearted, washman and think God don't do anything. I need you to be consistent. Get here. Do what you're supposed to do. I see you serving, but you got to be consistent in your service, because I understand that I'm going to get you out of it. Deliverance is on the way. Deliverance is on the way for somebody. You looking for deliverance. Your deliverance is right around the corner. You just got to keep on kneeling. Stay where you are. Stay persistent and watch and see what he's going to do. God, we truly bless God. And we want God to deliver us through our trials of our life. But you gotta know this. No matter what we're faced with, we're going to overcome it.
Amen.
Because of the strength and the power that we possess. Because we just kept on kneeling. We just stayed there. We just stayed there. I know it's hard. It's hard sometimes. Laboring for God. But we're just putting up those treasures in heaven. He said, don't worry about relationships. We ain't got time for relationships. We got too much stuff going on. And it's too muddy, too messy. 45 throwing all our kind of crazy stuff to get us distracted. We said, no. Stay on your knees. Pray for this crazy joker and all those who believe the same way he believes. Yeah. Just know our time is coming. Today is your day. For somebody who's just looking for deliverance. And understanding this, we're in a place, God is waiting on some faithful believers to just say, man, I'm just going to keep on kneeling.
Thank you for watching. Please come join us for worship every Sunday at 10 a.m. We are located at 40 West 40th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46208. We are located inside of the Martin Luther King Jr. Center. Remember to stay connected and subscribe to our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and website. Thank you and have a blessed week. God bless.